Hey folks, this is Kalani, going to be looking at how you can get your hands on the new Spirit Beast in Warlords of Draenor, Gara. Now, she is very involved, she requires quite a bit of patience and quite a bit of work, but seems totally worth it. She's one of the nicer models that we've had to tame, which is really cool. She uses the new wolf model, and she's got a little Shadowmoon Void Touch theme going on, which is really cool. She even has some little starfalls happen now and then, which is very nice to see. So this is basically a hunter quest, a class quest, even though it's not really a quest. You don't get a quest anywhere in the process of obtaining Gara, but there are little breadcrumbs and little hints that you need to follow and pick up a few items and do quite a bit of legwork before being able to tame her. The only downside to that is that it's Beast Mastery only. It is a Spirit Beast, so if you're not a fan of Beast Mastery, it's not really a hunter quest for you, but if you have Beast Mastery, go get yourself a new Spirit Beast. Let's have a look-see at how you start. So first things first, you're going to need to find Gara. Now she's located in Shadowmoon Valley, just south of the Burial Fields. Make sure that you have a Beast Mastery specialization available to you, because Gara won't even interact with you if you don't. You'll need it to tame her anyway, as she is a Spirit Beast. Your first task is to head north until you come upon a rare called Mother Omra. If you've already killed her, she won't appear as a rare on your minimap, but she will still be an elite. Simply follow along in the video if you cannot find her. So Mother Omra has something that we need, Shadow Berries. But to get to her, we need to take care of her Shadowmoon Darkcasters first. Take those out of the picture and you can happily kill Omra, get your hands on some Shadow Berries and take them back to Gara. If you take them back right now, you do get a new dialogue where you can show them to Gara. She sniffs them and then looks at you expectantly. But I'm going to hop straight into the next part of the puzzle. For the next part, we need to construct a Spirit Effigy. Now this requires quite a few parts, the first of which is called Crude Effigy, and this drops from Gromkar Grunts in Gorgrond. You can find them on the map where I am. Now this can take a little while for this to drop, but this is the first piece in the puzzle. After this we need to gather a few items which the Crude Effigy specifies, and I'm going to give you locations for all of them. The first item on the list is Torn Cloth. For this we'll be hunting necrophytes in Frostfire Ridge. Now these can be found at the northwest corner of the map. These seem to have a pretty decent drop rate. In fact, I got mine on my first kill. Next up we have Ancient Bones. Now you need to find yourself some Thunderlord Giant Slayers. I'd recommend going to Gromgar in Frostfire Ridge. The issue with these is that the Giant Slayers seem to be few and far between, meaning you're going to be doing a lot of legwork and hopefully finding yourself one mob. Now the drop rate thankfully does seem to be pretty decent. Head on over to Nagrand for some Warsong Marauders and your small fruit. Now there's two locations where you can go for these, where I am on the map and then a little bit further south. Both of these seem to have nice little camps and plenty of these mobs. Happily kill yourself a few and you should get your hands on the small fruit. Take a little trip down south into the spires of Iraq and find yourself some Sethek Prophets. Now these can be found on the eastern side at Sethek Hollow. We're only interested in the Prophets because the Prophets drop our incense. The last item on the list is a wooden bowl. For this, you need to kill yourself a gore-bound legionnaire. These can be found in southwestern Talador. Now, keep in mind these are demon-infested territories, so you'll need to be very careful when trying to take one of these out, but once again, these seem to be few and far between, so finding them is going to be your biggest task. With all the little bits and pieces in your inventory, you want to head back to Gara in Shadowmoon Valley. You'll need to put them all together with the Crude Effigy to create your Spirit Effigy, and then use it nearby the Disturbed Grave. The spirit of Mother Omru will appear. Now bear in mind that's the rare that we had to kill earlier to get the shadow berries, and will tell you that Gara was her wolf, but didn't really take kindly to all the shadowy nonsense going on in Shadowmoon Valley. As a result of all the experiments, Omru's spirit was taken captive by the Lord of Glass, Zan. Now that the spirit effigy has been burned, her spirit has been laid to rest, but the Lord of Glass didn't really take kindly to that and takes Gara as compensation. So we don't quite get to tame her yet. We need to head into the void and get her back, essentially. But to do this, we need a few more items. Our next target is a Shadowmoon Void Twister. These can be found on the western side of Shadowmoon Valley, but to get here you'll need to go through Spires of Arak and cross a little bridge if you don't already have the flight path. Bear in mind, these monsters are level 100 and are pretty difficult, so this is where things start to get a little iffy if you're not max level. So what we're interested in from these monsters is a Void Lantern, and it only drops from the Void Twisters. A little hint for dealing with these guys: if they have a Void Shield, you need to find a Void Totem which is providing that shield, because it completely negates all the damage you're doing. Get yourself the Void Lantern and then head on over to Eastern Shadowmoon Valley. You're going to be looking for a very large dead tree. You can't miss it. So when you found yourself your dead tree, it's the only one out here, so very hard to miss, you need to go ahead and use your lantern. This will give you a buff which will let you see a Shadowmoon Void Blade stuck in the tree. You need to go ahead and click on that to transition into the void entirely. Once you do so, you'll find a friendly face waiting for you in Gara, and she'll provide a nice little bit of damage as a guardian pet. You're going to need that damage because you're now surrounded by Elder Void Lords and Elder Void Callers. You need to go kill a few of these. It's a little random on how many it takes, but when you kill them you have a chance to spawn the Lord of Glass, and that's who we're after. All of the monsters here are level 100 elites and have over 1 million health each, so they do take quite a while to kill. Although they have a few annoying abilities, they're not too dangerous and it shouldn't be too difficult to kill them if you're level 100. The Lord of Glass makes it nice and obvious when he spawns because he yells in chat, so when you see the yell or when you hear it, go find him and it's basically the same fight. He has the same abilities plus Void Bolt, which doesn't really seem to do anything, so you know, it's a relatively easy fight. Plus he has less health, but before you engage him, make sure you have Tame Beast on your bars, because at the end of this fight you're going to tame Gara. Now when he gets down to 1 health, he'll use a final ability which he will instinctively deterrence, very smart of you, and then Mother Omru will appear again, but she'll say that Gara is being swallowed by the void, and the only way to save her soul is to tame her. So you better dismiss your pet rather rapidly and get taming that new spirit beast. That's it, that's done. You've got yourself the spirit beast, that's Gara, as your personal pet. Bear in mind, if there are more than one hunter here, Gara will spawn for every hunter which already tapped the Lord of Glass, so there's no need to fight over it and everyone can get their share of Gara, which is kind of cool. But that is how you can get your hands on the new Spirit Beast in Warlords of Draenor. If you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to get back to you. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, feel free to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.